As you know, we had a conflict with Venezuela, worked out very well, and we have a conflict with Iran, and that's working out very well, very, very well.
This morning, we're bringing you a CNN exclusive. The U.S. military is reportedly crowdsourcing ideas for the Iran war, sending out an email asking troops for creative and unconventional ways to punish and put pressure on Iran.
Trump's week has got off to one hell of a start, as it's been reported that the military is asking its own personnel, hey, does anyone have any new ideas regarding Iran? According to CNN, a US Central Command intelligence official distributed a request asking analysts to propose, quote, creative and unconventional ways to increase pressure on Iran and force its government back to the negotiating table. The request reportedly sought ideas for punishing Iran, imposing new costs, and influencing its decision-making after months of American military operations have failed to produce a durable agreement.
Yes, Sarah. Sources telling me and our KDBO Lillis that the U.S. military is casting a wide net as it's seeking new ideas for how to ramp up the pressure on Iran. And it comes as the U.S. military and Central Command in particular is reevaluating their current strategy and the options that are currently available to President Donald Trump intended to bring Iran to the table on his terms. And that includes this effectively a crowdsourcing email that we're told was sent to a broad range of U.S. military analysts and military planners last week, just before President Donald Trump issued those threats to escalate the conflict with a new round of military strikes, ultimately walking that threat back this weekend. But we're told that the email itself asked for, quote, creative and unconventional ways to pressure and punish Iran. And this is significant on a couple of different fronts. One, multiple sources we talked to said that the request itself is not necessarily a bad idea. Clearly, the Trump administration has been looking for a way to ramp up that pressure on Iran in a pursuit of some sort of a diplomatic negotiated agreement that has eluded them to date. But at the same time, the request also betrays the idea that this strategy currently being used by the U.S. military is not having the effect that the president and the Pentagon want to see. So one source put it to me this way. At the end of the day, POTUS will want a deal. So he'll continually look for ways to get tough and get out of this. You need creative minds at times, especially if you're running out of conventional options.
And the reason this is making the rounds on social media is it comes as the president continues to project unwavering strength and this sense of accomplishment regarding this war, despite the fact that there have been multiple failed ceasefires, after Iranian retaliation has killed American troops, after hundreds of Americans have been wounded and military stockpiles were severely strained trying to defend the country, and after the administration repeatedly claimed that Iran was decimated only to then weather more retaliation from the country, to the point that talking heads on Fox couldn't help but point out the obvious. How is an obliterated military still a major threat like this?
69% of Americans disapprove of the handling of this conflict. The clock is ticking for President Trump to get out of this war before voters head to the polls. It's making a lot of Republicans nervous. It's already, as we know, unpopular.
The truth is there's not much good news for Republicans. Underwater on the economy, as you showed, underwater on affordability. Those two issues are front and center for sure. Everywhere you look, Republicans are down. He promised to keep us out of endless wars or unsatisfactory wars. And now he's in one, and it's not at all clear how it's going to end. So he's vulnerable on this point. And I was in political terms, he does need to get this over with. But what he may need is time, and he doesn't have a lot of time.
Trey, I don't get it.
There's no surprise that it's getting to the president. And the obvious question after all of this and this report is, if everything is working out exactly as Trump promised, why is CENTCOM asking the building for suggestions?
Their senses. So they called me, and they said, please don't attack, we'll make a deal. That's the real truth. And everyone knows it. And who wouldn't call? And they found out through leaks and sleazebags, a lot of sleazebags, leakers. Leakers should be put in jail. They have to strengthen up the laws for leakers. But in this case, leakers helped because they said the severity of the attack. And Iran knew it. They knew what was coming. It was going to come last night, and it would have gone on for a long time. And there'd be essentially very little left. There'd be nothing left. And if I'm given a chance to let a lot of people live, I want to give that chance. So,
I mean, look at what's happened, right? So far, Iran has absorbed months of attacks, but continues launching missiles and drones, all while it continues demanding terms that the administration considers unacceptable. And the reported CENTCOM request suggests that someone inside the command recognizes that simply expanding the target list, it hasn't solved the political problem. The request reportedly asked analysts to consider new methods for, quote, punishing Iran and compelling the country to negotiate.
And so there is this reluctance, though, at the same time to escalate the conflict. We know that there was reporting by CNN and others last week that the president was considering potential strikes on Iran's energy infrastructure, for example. That has elicited concerns from the Pentagon and the intelligence community about what potential impact that might have. And we went to U.S. Central Command for comment for this reporting, and they responded that, quote, U.S. Central Command has a long history of thinking and working in innovative ways. Admiral Cooper, in particular, reaches out to members of our great team, regardless of rank, to achieve the highest levels of operational possible. So we'll ultimately have to see if any new fresh ideas come from this crowdsourcing email or other conversations, but it's clear that the Pentagon is looking for a new path forward.
And the key takeaway is that this is not what the president continues to tell the American people. He has claimed that Iran are cowering and desperate for a deal. Then he flip-flops and threatens attacks on Iran on a level not seen since World War II. Then he backs down and claims that a deal is again on the horizon. The volatility is just absolutely bananas, but so very Trumpian, right? And as a result, the American people, they continue to reap the consequences of a spooked market. You'll see gas prices go up and down, inflation, all the things that people who don't own private jets and can't short the market during the ups and downs have to deal with.
Delivered 100% expensing, and that expensing, I think, where you write it off in 1 year. I have friends that bought things that, frankly, they didn't need. I have a friend that never flew in a private plane in his life, and he ended up going out buying a very expensive private plane because of expensing 1 year.
This war has been it's been taxing on everyone, and I'm on a fixed income, and so it's other ones that on fixed income I'm really feeling it.
You could talk directly to the president. We know he likes to watch TV. What would you tell him about this war?
President Trump, you shouldn't have got us in this war and was going to end it fast, soon. And now you're starting all over again.
Has the war helped your life at all?
No. For one thing, it causes me angst, makes me angry. And as I said, I'm very disillusioned. My entire family is disillusioned. And we are and were Trump supporters, but this is, to me, he's drawn a line in the sand. And that's how I feel. That's how we all feel.
And the administration has moved the goalposts time and time again without clearly establishing which one ends the war, because it appears they don't know how. And the problem, not only for Trump and Republicans ahead of the midterms, is that American voters, they have long run out of patience.
A new poll out this morning shows about 2/3 of the American people say the war has not been worthwhile, and that includes nearly 4 in 10 Republicans.
Hell, even Republican voters, Trump voters, have run out of patience. Fox News found that only 34% of their viewers approve of Trump's handling of Iran, while 66% disapprove. The same polling found that most Americans opposed the military action, all while expecting the conflict to continue for an extended period of time, which means they don't have any faith that this president is going to end this war anytime soon.
They have to deal with reality, and so does the administration, because the Iranians are, and the Gulf allies are, and the Houthis now want in, and there are multiple problems. I'm uncomfortable talking about munitions because that should be classified. The Iranians, they've got a death wish. And when the president says he has patience, so do they. Like, they'll wait this out. They don't care about pain for their people. They don't care about their people at all.
You don't think that after going through months of this, having to go after Iran over and over again, when it was billed as maybe just a few weeks, hasn't depleted our munitions, and that China isn't looking at Taiwan?
Trey, I don't get it. We hear there's friendly negotiations going on, but is Iran saying they're not talking at all? That they'll just keep a ceasefire going as long as we don't hit them.
And Trey, if the Iranians are serious about, let's make a deal,
Why would the Iran state-linked media put out that very disturbing propaganda video about the president and his family yesterday?
But Mr. President, stop telling everybody what you're going to do and just do it. And then tell the American people, all of us who want to be supportive, what is our objective? What's the strategy? And then go execute.
And if you look at the AP poll, it found that Trump's approval on Iran is at 28%, with approximately 2/3 saying that the war has not been worth fighting at all.
Trump cancels strike on Iran, says that a deal is imminent. I think by my count, Dr. Paul, this is about 41 times that he has said that. We're talking with Iran. A deal is imminent. It's just around the corner. And so claims that this deal is imminent are also about as phony as his claims that Iran asked him to not bomb them. So the problem is he's got a huge credibility gap, Dr. Paul. People just don't believe him anymore.
So many of these promises right now aren't fulfilled. So it builds animosity, because if you're spreading lies and innuendos that all of a sudden we do this and we put on a tariff here and we, if we bomb this country, everything will be okay. Just look at it. The people now have a very, very healthy skepticism about what the government's doing, especially believing what the government tells us.
Yeah.
And with each renewed round of fighting forcing military planners to search for additional leverage, it gives them more leverage, right? And this is what institutional exhaustion looks like, to the point where the reports of the president launching expletive-laced rants behind closed doors, they seem closer to the truth than what we're seeing in front of the cameras, because he is fast running out of ideas.
Want to stay plugged in? Become a subscriber to our Substack at MeidasPlus.com. You'll get daily recaps from Ron Filipkowski, ad-free episodes of our podcast, and more exclusive content only available at MeidasPlus.com.